Welcome to @Cronkite News, your social sharing connection where you choose the news. Facebook likes and shares, tweets, retweets, and favorites. YouTube views and subscriptions. We're watching you, watch us. From our digital home at cronkitenews.azpbs.org to your television, web browser, or mobile device. Let's get a refresh on the top Arizona news of the week.
Arizona is one of the least popular states for teachers. The Learning Policy Institute cites low salaries, low retention rates, and teacher shortages as some of the reasons for the low ranking. But Cronkite News reporter Kassidy McDonald shows us how students at Paradise Valley Community College want to support teachers here.
Last month marked the official launch for Club Ed's We Elevate EDU, a new teacher advocacy movement at Paradise Valley Community College.
When it comes down to it, our pipeline of teachers is just non-existent, and it's really nerve-wracking.
Kirk has been teaching at PVC for 12 years and says that she has seen a dramatic decrease in the amount of students pursuing teaching professions in the last few years.
More than ever, Arizona is in a teacher shortage crisis. We're talking literally in some sections going from 70 students down to 25 students.
Students in the education classes and Club Ed at PVCC often discuss hot topics in education, such as funding, teacher evaluations, teacher salaries, and special education.
It's a 7-day challenge that aims to admire, appreciate, and advocate for teachers and the teaching profession. It's exciting.
PVC student Matthew Loughlin says the club's 7-day challenge helps to inspire the nation's educators by encouraging community members to pursue goals like writing notes of appreciation, supporting educational fundraisers and events, and much more.
We also need to become politically engaged because the different bills that are at the legislature right now are really important.
The club is able to help community engagement through Elevate EDU's partnership with nonprofit organizations like Expect More Arizona, who aim to make education advocacy simpler for parents and community members.
So we have simple tools on our website to find out who your elected leaders are, who your legislators are. We make it a simple click through to send an email to them to let them know how much you really care about teaching and how important it is that we support them both with funding, with teacher pay.
Until we start paying teachers as professionals, we're not going to retain people that are good for children.
There are more than 2,100 vacant teacher positions in Arizona, according to a recent study. In North Phoenix, Kassidy McDonald, Cronkite News.
According to that study by the Arizona School Personnel Administrators Association, more than 1,000 teachers quit or resigned from their positions within the first 4 weeks of the school year.
A program in Florence is training horses and burros for adoption, but you'd be surprised by who is doing the training. Cronkite News reporter Chloe Ranshaw headed out to the ranch to find out more.
These ranchers had an unlikely start to training horses and burros. I met up with a few this morning just before their workday started at sunrise. For Leland Jacko, training horses is not a hobby, but a prison sentence for a felony he committed in 2012. And this ranch that houses 35 horses at a time is Arizona State Prison property.
When we're out here, it's a whole different world from being in there. We get to actually come out here and that we have a purpose out here. So
around 20 inmates, all personally interviewed by head instructor Randy Helm, domesticate horses and burros in the program run by the Arizona State Corrections Department. Most inmates enter the program without any experience and stay until the end of their sentence.
They really have to make a commitment to the horse or the burro, and the relationship, if you will, really starts developing there.
And they rely on us.
Burros like Marbles next to me here are overpopulated in the state of Arizona, and while this program helps inmates with their rehabilitation, it also helps wildlife as well and puts these animals to good use.
Whether that's individuals, trail riding horses, that's the primary function or primary adopter. Ranchers adopt quite a few, and of course Border Patrol adopts them as well.
Horses and burros cycle through the program. In a few days, Jacko will say goodbye as well.
Yeah, he gets to go home with me.
But not to his horse Tonto. Jacko will be adopting the horse himself.
As unfortunate as it may seem, coming to prison and stuff like that, this has probably been one of the better things that's happened to me in my life. It just made me realize that there's still so much out there.
Jacka will be released after serving a 4-year, 6-month sentence next week. In the past 5 years, Helm has seen only 2 inmates reincarcerated after completing his program. In the broadcast center, Chloe Ranshaw, Cronkite News.
Just a month into Donald Trump's presidency, and plans are moving forward on one of his signature campaign promises, immigration control. Memos released today on immigration and deportation enforcement are already drawing divisive reactions. Cronkite News reporter Tyler Fingert is live in our nation's capital, breaking it down for us. Tyler?
These memos, which were released by the Department of Homeland Security today, are helping the Trump administration fulfill a campaign promise. But immigration advocates are worried that these documents just go too far.
In many ways, just create open season for the Department of Homeland Security to go after moms and pops.
In 2 lengthy memos, Homeland Security Secretary John Kelly detailed how his agency will heed President Trump's call to aggressively enforce immigration laws. Secretary Kelly also ordered the repair of the current border wall and the expansion across the rest of the southern border.
We have an obligation to make sure that the people who are in our country are here legally.
DHS plans to stop the controversial catch and release policy and at the same time expanding the 287G program, which will deputize local law enforcement to act as immigration officers. Also affecting Arizona, Kelly is ordering the hiring of 10,000 immigration and customs enforcement officers and 5,000 customs and border protection officers. This despite a federal hiring freeze.
The message from this White House and from the DHS is that those people who are in this country and pose a threat to our public safety or have committed a crime will be the first to go, and we will be aggressively making sure that that occurs.
While the memos leave in place deferred action for childhood arrivals, also known as DACA, there's concern among immigration advocates about the sweeping nature of these documents.
This will have a ripple effect not just on those immigrants directly touched by the scorched earth policies, but on the millions of American families of whom they are part.
Martinez says she expects legal challenges will come, and some groups told us today that they are considering that option. We reached out to the U.S. Department of Justice, who declined to comment, and then we also reached out to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, who never got back to us. For now, live in Washington tonight, Tyler Fingert, Cronkite News.
Arizona will soon add questions to the written driver's license test about how drivers should act during a routine traffic stop. Reporter Allison Gargaro met with an officer who is teaching a group of soon-to-be drivers what to do.
We all get nervous when we see the lights.
Jim Fall teaches drivers ed at Mesa Mountain View High School. He's already trying to teach his students how to handle a traffic stop.
We're teaching them that sometimes the police officer sees things differently as they approach from behind. Don't panic.
And now there will be new questions on that topic on Arizona's written driver's license test. State Representative Reginald Boulding and other community leaders came up with standard tactics for drivers to follow when stopped by an officer.
But I feel good to say that Arizona, we're actually first in the nation as far as looking at ways to curb officer-involved shootings through driving.
This new test could be out as soon as March to offer a consistent standard to drivers and police for how to act during a routine traffic stop.
There's a misalignment between what officers expect of drivers and what drivers expect of officers.
But the expectation is that when they see a motorcycle officer or a police officer behind them with their lights flashing, it's to pull over to the right.
I'd be like trying to look, oh, do I have my license with me? Do I have my registration? Like trying to look for it. But he told us just stay calm and wait for him to come up.
If you're pulled over by a police officer while driving, they recommend that you keep both hands on the wheel and visible at all times. Roll your window down and turn the dome light on if it's dark outside, and then wait for further instructions from the officer. One reason for the new test is that Arizona's expansive gun laws can put police and drivers at risk.
A lot of people have guns in their cars, so the movements you make in the car can appear to them to be confrontational.
If a person has a gun in the vehicle, that they, while they're seated and their hands are on the steering wheel, that they just let the officer know, hey, I have a weapon and it's in this location in the car. So that the officer knows that up front, that's where it's at, and the officer can then give instruction to the driver.
It's driver's education that may help save a life.
No one should ever leave a traffic stop in a body bag.
In Phoenix, Allison Gargaro, Cronkite News.
Advocates hope the word will get out to people who have already taken the test through family, friends, and media coverage.
You can say NAU's a cappella teams are aka awesome. Their perfect pitch earned 2 teams at the school top honors in the International Championship of Collegiate a cappella, also known as the ICCA. Cronkite News reporter Kassidy McDonald traveled to Flagstaff to see how the teams are practicing for their advancement to the Southwest semifinals in March.
Best known as the real-life Pitch Perfect, this year NAU qualified 4 groups for the International Championships of Collegiate a cappella, which is the largest number of groups qualified for any university in the Southwest region.
It's massive. It's like the Olympics of a cappella singing. There were over 500 college groups that applied, over 5,000 singers from across the country and the UK.
NAU's Accidentals and Highlanders recently won first and second place in the Southwest quarterfinal competition in Scottsdale this February and will be moving on to the semifinals to compete with the top 10 groups in the Southwest region.
We told ourselves beforehand that, as long as we're proud of what we put out there, that's all that matters. And we definitely were. All of the girls love each other, want to be there for each other, not only as members of the group, but as sisters.
We've taken a massive leap forward this year. So this is our first time ever making it to semifinals.
Both groups credit their originality and group dynamics to the season's successes.
All of the songs that we sing are arranged by members of the group. Same with choreography.
We have so much variety in our set that make it a little bit more enjoyable for the audience and for the judges and everything.
A cappella groups here at NAU have noted increased student involvement in the last few years. They think partly due to pop culture movies such as Pitch Perfect and TV shows like Glee.
It's created a huge amount of excitement. We had over 400 students that wanted to audition for the 4 a cappella groups on campus.
The NAU a cappella groups hope that receiving widespread recognition during the ICAA will continue to attract unique new talent in upcoming semesters. In Flagstaff, Kassidy McDonald, Cronkite News.
From replacing Obamacare to tax reform, the Trump administration has plenty of issues on its plate. One part of the tax reform plan, called border adjustment, has caused contentious debate amongst lawmakers and business leaders. Cronkite reporter Z Zung brings us the latest from Washington.
With President Trump in the White House, Republicans see a once-in-a-generation opportunity to fix what many call a broken tax code.
A public that is sick of the current tax code. They're tired of the complexity. It's unfair. It's costly. It's lots of special tax breaks for some and nothing but headaches for them.
Besides lowering taxes for corporations and individuals, another important component of the tax plan is the so-called border adjustment tax.
Right now, the U.S. income tax taxes businesses based on where they produce. A border adjustment is a way of modifying the income tax so that it taxes businesses based on where they sell.
The Tax Foundation estimates that border adjustment tax would bring in over $1 trillion for the federal government in over 10 years, while having limited effect on businesses.
The textbook theories expect this to be a wash, that the stronger dollar will offset both the benefits to exporters and the potential harms to importers.
But theory doesn't always turn out the way it is supposed to. And that has Jack Lunsford, CEO of Arizona Small Business Association, worried.
I think I'm concerned partly because the strength of the proposal as it appears has a lot to do with economic theory. That somehow the rise in the U.S. dollar would offset higher taxes on companies. That's theoretical. We all know that economic theory can vary based on conditions and other variables.
Some analysts say if the dollar does not rise enough, the border adjustment tax will act more like a tariff, and that will leave big retailers that rely on imports, like Target, in a very hostile business environment.
Right, because they now have to pay the import tariff, and they're not compensated for that with a dollar appreciation that makes their money go further.
As for now, Voiger said repeal and replace Obamacare should be the priority for the GOP. But House Speaker Paul Ryan said he's committed to make tax reform happen. In Washington, D.C., Z Zung, Cronkite News.
The border adjustment tax is unusual in another way. While most taxes are ultimately passed on to consumers, expert told us there are too many factors in play to say for sure if that would happen. President Trump is expected to release his opinion on tax reform in 2 weeks, and concrete legislation can take effect later this year.
Maricopa County Sheriff Paul Penzone said last Friday that MCSO will no longer hold immigrants past their court-ordered release date as a courtesy to ICE. And 33 suspected immigrants have since been released. MCSO Captain Mike Dawson gave the media a tour and broke down the MCSO booking process from start to finish. 80,000 people were arrested in Maricopa County last year, and they all went through the same booking process.
There's no like typical day.
First, each inmate is assessed by a medical team to ensure they're healthy enough to enter the system. Once they've cleared the health inspection, inmates begin to go through the booking process, which involves being seen by ICE agents.
As we get down towards the end, you will see where ICE is stationed with their own computers down there.
There's a final review of the bookings, and then it's on to the search area.
This is essentially the very end of the process before MCSO actually takes custody of a prisoner from another agency.
The search involves scanners, metal detectors, and pat searches.
When we step through this wall, through this door, you're gonna kind of see a wall here. That's where all the search happens. We have one final metal detector they step through.
The inmates are then put into a holding area where they wait for identification. Dawson says it only takes 20 minutes to identify if the inmate has additional warrants, even if they're from outside of the country. Within 24 hours, they enter appearance court, where the release conditions are decided.
So they can be given a bond, they can be given no bond and have to stay in jail. They can be released on recognizance.
If they are released,
they will actually come around this corner. We're going to step into this hallway down here, and that's where the release process actually happens.
They get their clothing and property back.
This is the last step to freedom. This is what everybody wants to see when they're booked into jail right here.
Horses can now save other horses with help from a startup in Arizona. Cronkite News reporter Amanda Luberto shows us how a new treatment is being used in the animal world.
On a ranch in Chandler, Cheyenne could give birth any day now. Cheyenne is going to be a part of a new process that uses amniotic material to regenerate tissue and bone in injured animals. Chandler-based Anicel Biotech developed the process. CEO Brandon Ames was inspired when his daughter had to put down her horse because of a drug interaction. He assembled a research team to study amniotic fluid and found success with the treatments.
I knew of this technology and had been introduced to this technology, and it was one of them things that just continued to come back time and time again, and finally I decided that it should be in the animal world as well.
Dr. Moises Barcelo takes the collected fluids, separates out what he needs, and creates the injections. But back on the ranch is where the real miracles happen. Horses like Cheyenne will come to the ranch to have their babies, to have the materials collected for the regenerative treatments. In Cave Creek, equine surgeon with Chaparral Veterinary Medical Center, Dr. Wade Walker, says that there are two main concerns with the treatment: cost and time. For a horse, the treatment can cost thousands of dollars and take months of recovery. But he also says it's the future of equine medicine.
Future of stem cells will be off-the-shelf stem cells, so we can determine a horse needs it. We can go into our pharmacy and take it off the shelf and inject.
Walker says stem cell procedures on a horse are very safe, but the science is still developing. In Chandler, Amanda Luberto, Cronkite News.
This weekend was a rainy one in Phoenix, but that didn't stop families from spending time outdoors. Reporter Kaylee Nassif went to a day camp where kids learn how to survive in nature.
Around 100 children and their families gathered at the Rio Salado Audubon Center on Saturday to learn about the great outdoors in the heart of Phoenix. On a rainy day in downtown Phoenix, most people would be inside, but at the Arizona Elk Society's Wild in the City program, children and families were encouraged to embrace all that Mother Nature had to offer.
Our goal was we need to get young people involved in the outdoors. Anything we could do to get them off of video games and get them out of the house, just so they can experience it.
Ken Tora, who's the youth program coordinator for the Arizona Elk Society, calls the curriculum STREAM, which stands for Science, Technology, Recreation, Engineering, Arts, and Math. Many of the volunteers are teachers and wildlife experts who want to encourage the kids to learn about nature.
We showed them the skulls of some of the birds. This is the skull of a great horned owl.
The big thing the Arizona Elk Society is trying to teach kids today is how to conserve nature, but also still have some fun. Kids spent the day panning for gold and shooting arrows, but the clear favorite was dissecting owl pellets to find the bones of their prey.
A lot of them are usually really grossed out, but kids like the gross stuff sometimes. And actually we tend to see the girls dig into the owl pellets first and really get into it.
I digged in poop. I found a lot of skulls.
Families came from as far as Tucson and Lake Havasu for the chance to study wildlife and how to conserve the environment, even if that environment was a little wet.
Maricopa County is dealing with an outbreak of a bacterial infection in dogs. 50 dogs were diagnosed with the potentially deadly disease in Fountain Hills and Scottsdale. 3 of those dogs died. Usually there are only 4 cases of leptospirosis in Maricopa County each year. Reporter Drew Marine learned vaccines are being made available to all worried pet owners.
By definition, leptospirosis is a bacterial disease that can lead to fever, vomiting, and even death. Not only does it affect dogs, but it can spread to humans too. After hearing about the outbreak in Maricopa County, many owners came to get their dogs vaccinated at the Arizona Animal Welfare League this weekend.
My mom sent me an article that said there was a bit of an outbreak, so I just wanted to, she goes to dog parks, so I just wanted to be safe. It's like your baby. You want to protect your dog.
Leptospirosis is typically found in a dog's urine and is easily spread throughout groups, so keeping your dog vaccinated means you're protecting other dogs too. Director of Volunteers and Special Events Whitney Steele says keeping your dog up to date on vaccines is a foolproof way to keep them healthy.
So if yours is well vaccinated, then they're safe, and it's kind of like a little protective bubble around them, and it just makes sure that your animal is going to live the best possible life they can.
And owner Margaret Birch wanted to get her dog vaccinated before it was too late.
Keep him healthy to prevent him from having to go to the vet and experience the disease.
Only 50 doses of the vaccination were offered this weekend, but within the next week, the AAWL will have more. In Phoenix, Drew Marine, Cronkite News.
3 Arizona middle schoolers won big at this year's Future City competition in Washington, D.C. Reporter Marisela Ramirez got a look at the futuristic model of Quito, Ecuador, that won them 2nd place out of 40 teams.
Arizona!
This year's Future City Challenge is exactly what it sounds like. It challenges middle schoolers to imagine, design, and build ideal cities for the future. These Arizona students focused on transforming the public spaces of Quito, Ecuador.
One reason that we chose Quito is that since this year is public spaces, we wanted to make sure that we had a place that has lots of problems, which is public spaces or just the public in general. So we realized that Quito had lots of slums in its city, so that's probably the reason why we chose it.
They spent over 6 months brainstorming, researching, designing, and building their future version of Quito as Revi Quito.
So we converted all of our roadways in our city, and we could do that because of our aerial transportation, into bike paths, walk paths, with glow-in-the-dark pathways, solar canopies, and it rains a lot in Quito, aquaponic gardens, and then at old intersections, we added feature parks, which could be anything from like a green belt to a recreation center.
Future City representatives said this competition is valuable on multiple platforms and teaches kids to create, work in teams, and see math and science as important to their future.
I just think it's awesome to come here. I'm going to do public speaking, learn about engineers, careers, going to talk to all these professionals, and it's a lot more than you can explain in a quick interview on how much you learn in Future City.
The kids felt the overall experience of being able to present their work to professionals was the real victory, but felt excited for going from 5th place last year to 2nd place this year.
So we got this trophy, super cool trophy,
and $5,000 donated to our school's STEM education system. Yeah.
Reporting in Washington, Marisela Ramirez, Cronkite News.
Now, here's an @Cronkite News pick of the week, a favorite from the Cronkite News staff.
A majority of the fruits and vegetables on our dinner tables this time of year were grown in Mexico, and about 2/3 of this produce crosses the Arizona border and is shipped across the U.S. Cronkite News reporter Katie Berry tells us why growers on both sides of the border are concerned by President Trump's plans to target imports from Mexico.
1 hour south of the Arizona-Mexico border, you'll find miles of greenhouses bathed in sunshine.
bit higher.
Even in the dead of winter, these tomatoes are almost ripe enough to pick. They're grown by Wholesome Harvest, a certified organic produce company that operates on both sides of the border. This farm is part of a multi-billion-dollar cross-border produce operation.
Why would I put like cucumbers in Iowa? They won't work over there.
Their GM says climate is important.
We can give you the tomatoes, you give us the potatoes.
This suit looks like it's for my own protection, but it's actually for the protection of this organic produce, like this bunch of tomatoes here. President Trump promised to renegotiate NAFTA to protect American jobs. But workers at this U.S. packing plant in Arizona are now worried about their jobs. The tomatoes grown in Sonora arrive here in Nogales, Arizona after they cross the border. But if President Trump imposes trade restrictions,
that's what it worries us the most, because we want the best for our people. We want to help them.
And growers on both sides warn American families will have to pay more for produce if Mexico is targeted for higher import taxes.
Come winter, you're not growing Roma tomatoes in Wisconsin. It's just a fact of climate.
We should plant these vegetables here.
And now growers in the produce industry worry the fruits of their labor will wither on the vine. In Imori, Sonora, Katie Beery, Cronkite News.
Cronkite News tracks your likes, tweets, and shares from all our social sites to bring you this news special at Cronkite News, our weekly refresh. Join the conversation so you choose the news. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube, and log on to cronkitenews.azpbs.org for top Arizona stories anytime.